Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. If you're watching this on the replay, because I know a lot of us are at work today, fantastic. Welcome, replay viewers. Tap that thumbs up if you love America. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. Give me a capital TR in the comments. Look at this cool feature right here. You can now see your comments live on the screen. Talk about putting yourself out there. You got something strong, constructive, thoughtful to add to the conversation. Now you can get your comments seen by the entire world. We're broadcasting everywhere. Welcome to Nez Nation Live. And today we're talking about, well, kind of a different show here today because, first of all, I miss you guys. It's so fantastic to see you. It has been, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, as a media host show. I mean, it's been the most insane May and end of April ever. I had my sons. I mean, anyway, it's just been nuts. And so I haven't gone live as much as I'd like to. Let me know if you guys can see your comments up here. Look how cool that is. But today I'm going to talk about, so I miss you guys. I'm so excited to see you guys. But today I'm going to talk about something that I think you might get a different perspective on this. At least I hope you will. And that is this. We're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill. That's right. It's so big. It's so beautiful that, quite frankly, probably it might be the boldest, biggest, beautiful bill in the history of America, right? Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. Oh, it is so awesome. I want to go a little in depth about this bill. Tell you exactly. I've done my due diligence as I always do. You guys know this. I'm going to be kind of diving deep into it, but the title of today's show is really about what's happening with the radical, anti-American, anti-constitutional, Hippocrat, left, liberal, swamp vermin who are now turning in this Elon Musk interview that he did on CBS Sunday Morning. I'm going to play for you the clip just to see you. Congratulations, Laura Tilford. You are the OG, the best of the best. It's great to see you, Laura. We got the best mods in the business. They're now turning this interview that he did, and I'm going to share that clip right now. They're trying to turn this interview clip into this huge deal. Uh-oh, Elon Musk disappointed in the big, beautiful bill. Oh my God, Elon Musk and Trump, there's a rift. There's something going on with these guys. See, trouble in paradise and all this garbage. And I'm going to tell you why what he said on CBS's Sunday Morning is actually awesome and why I love this. And this is just a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. It's quite frankly a beautiful thing. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a second. I'm also going to go through what I've got some other clips from the Economics Council. This is the Joint Economic Council Advisory Board, the council for the White House. What they are saying about the big, beautiful bill, some of the myths, some of the misnomers about this bill, some false fake news that's going around about the bill. But first, let's talk about this. Here is the interview that Elon Musk did not that long ago. Okay. And I want to share this. This was just on CBS Sunday Morning. And this is what everybody is making such a big hullabaloo over. So listen to this, watch this, and then come on back.
So, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, frankly, which increases the budget deficit, not just decrease it, and undermines the work that the DOGE team is doing.
I actually thought that when this big, beautiful bill came along, I mean, like, everything he's done on DOGE gets wiped out in the first year.
I think a bill can be big or it can be beautiful, but I don't know if it can be both. My personal opinion. So
Okay, so they're trying to make that into a really, really big deal. And what the left and what the Democrats, I call them the hypocrites, are essentially trying to do is they're trying to create more drama, more dissension amongst the ranks. Even Trump himself was asked about this, and I want to play that clip right now. Trump was asked when he was swearing in the great Judge Jeanine Pirro earlier today. He was asked a lot of questions, as a matter of fact. I want to also share this clip that he was asked about Prime Minister Netanyahu, and it really relates to what I'm going to tell you about my take on this so-called rift. It's not really a rift. So just to kind of, spare you the suspense, everything is all right in paradise. And when I say paradise, I mean the paradise of we have the greatest team, we have the greatest executive commander in chief, we have the greatest cabinet, we have the highest performing anti-DEI, highly skilled American-loving patriots that are working hard for Americans, putting Americans first. Not criminal gangsters, not rapists, not murderers, not foreign terrorists, Americans first. Let me just save you the suspense. Everything is fantastic. But check this out. This is what Trump said earlier when he was asked about this. And I just want to play this really quickly.
Elon Musk in a television interview criticized the one beautiful bill, saying he was disappointed it didn't cut enough, essentially, that it undercut the DOGE efforts. What's your reaction to that?
Well, the reaction's a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We had to get it through the House. The House was. We have no Democrats. If it's up to the Democrats, they'll take the 65% increase. If that doesn't get approved, this country is going to have a 65% increase in taxes and lots of other problems, big problems, almost bigger than that. But we'll have a 65% increase as opposed to the largest tax cut in the history of our country. We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill, but the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to, we'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country, and tremendous amounts of benefit are going to the middle income people of our country, low and middle income people of our country. So we're going to see what happens, because the Senate, as you know, is negotiating with us, and they have to then go back to the House, and it's got a way to go. But I have to say, Speaker Johnson and Thune has done an incredible job. John Thune has done a fantastic job, and they're working together with me and others. And I think we have an amazing, if we pull this off, remember, we have 0 Democrat votes because they're bad people. There's something wrong with them. They'll let people pour into our country. Single biggest problem is we had 21 million people pour into our country, probably higher than that. And they're people that weren't supposed to be here. And many of those people are bad. Murderers, drug dealers, the mentally insane. They were closing mental institutions all over the world, not South America, all over the world. They're coming into our country, and we're getting them out. And we're having a hard time because some judges aren't making it very easy for us, and it's tough enough. They approved that. They allowed that to happen to our country. We don't have one Democrat vote. And if I were a Democrat, I'd be voting for this bill, and I'd get elected to any position I want as a Democrat. They're crazy. They're voting for a 65% tax increase. And they're only doing it for hatred. They're not doing it for any reason. They know it's terrible politics, in my opinion. But so we have no Democrat votes. That means we have to get almost all Republican votes. And I think we're very close to doing that. I think it'll be very successful. Yeah, please.
Okay. So he was asked about Elon, and he went into the kind of logistics of this tax bill. So we have Elon Musk on one side saying, you know what? I'm really not happy about this spending. It kind of undermines what we've been doing at DOGE. And then you have Trump, who's saying, well, we're going to do no tax on tips. We've got huge tax breaks. If we don't get this passed, it's going to be a 65 increase in tax. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to share with you what I think of all this. And again, the title of the video saying that this is, this is actually a great thing, and I love this. And then I'm going to share with you the clip about Trump talking about Netanyahu and how that relates to this. But here's what the Council of Economic Advisors said about this big, beautiful bill. Actually, you know what? I want to share. Hold on a second. I want to share this first. I'm going to share with you really quickly what Steve Moran said about this. Let me just share that really quickly. Hold on a second. And then I'm going to go through everything that's included in this bill, and then why I think this is a great thing that's happening between Musk and Trump. Why I love it. I'm going to tell you in just a second. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stick around for that. Okay, here is what Steve Moran, who is the lead economic advisor, counsel to the White House. Listen to what he says about this.
The big, beautiful tax bill that's going to create such an economic boom in this country. It's going to be great. Just like the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act created a big, beautiful boom in President Trump's first term. And the House did its job, and I think it's time for the Senate to do its job too. Let me tell you something. I think a lot of the angst over this comes from people focusing on deficit numbers that come from the Congressional Budget Office, when that's one tiny picture of the one tiny corner of the entire picture. They need to focus on the big picture. There's going to be trillions of dollars over the 10-year window coming in from better economic growth, trillions coming in from tariff revenue, trillions coming in from lower interest expenses as we kill inflation. Right?
That could really affect the summer. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
With the big
trillions coming in, folks. That is trillions. Okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to share with you what's really going on here. What's really happening here. So what we have is we've got a really a second blue collar boom. Okay. Let me see. I want to get this just right here. So we have a blue collar boom with tax cuts in the president's one big giant bill. Okay. And so I want to read this to you, and then we can both discuss what are the pros and cons here. Okay. So the origins and successes of this. So we have inflation adjusted for real overall worker earnings grew twice as fast. Workers at the bottom benefited disproportionately. Income for the typical family rose by the highest level on record. Further tax cuts in the one big, beautiful bill. Okay. We've got no tax on tips. We've got no tax on tips. We'll save the average. And by the way, I have talked to a lot, and I mean a lot of hospitality workers who are saying, Professor Nez, you have no idea. The no tax on tips and the no tax on revenue on overtime literally adds like a quarter, 25% increase in their annual salary. How many people in the comments right now could appreciate a 25% increase in their in annual income? I know I could. So the no tax on tips will save the average tipped worker about $1,675, and no tax on overtime will save the average overtime worker between $1,400 and $1,750 per year. These substantial savings are targeted to workers who are more economically fragile. Recent data shows average overtime worker earnings are about $73,000. The average tip worker earns $41,000. Temporary full expensing for new factories, lower tax rates on domestic manufacturing. You heard from Steve Moran there saying that we're going to get trillions of dollars in revenue coming into the United States. We've had the worst deficit in the history of our country, over $30 trillion. So we have lower tax rates will enhance America's industrial base and boost economic opportunity for workers with and without a college degree. You guys know what I think about college degrees. Don't even get me started. Enhanced opportunity zone incentives will drive $100 billion plus of incentives, create 1+ million new jobs, and lead to hundreds of thousands of new homes in distressed communities, especially in rural areas. The Joint Committee on Taxation finds that the percentage decline in federal taxes is smaller for the top 1% under the One Big Beautiful Bill, causing them to shoulder a greater share of total federal taxes. Failing to pass this and allowing the TCJA to expire would be harmful for vulnerable Americans. Not passing the One Big Beautiful Bill will give rise to a $4 trillion tax cut, leading to potential recessionary winds. And by the way, this is why President Trump is working so hard. This is why President Trump is literally working his butt off to make sure that this happens. This is why he's going down to, the Capitol Hill. He's meeting with Johnson, meeting with representatives, meeting with senators. It already passed the House. And so are there going to be some cons? Yeah, there's going to be some cons. Yes, there's going to be some spending cut. And by the way, this whole Medicaid cut, I want to talk about this too, because everybody's saying, look, he's going to cut Medicaid and SNAP. No. Incorrect. The only thing he's doing with Medicaid, the only thing that he's doing is he's making sure that the people who deserve to get Medicaid are the people who are the most qualified and not taking advantage of it. One thing that DOGE discovered is that there was a bunch of people taking advantage. They were taking advantage of all of these amenities that we put our tax dollars into. And so it's not, people think it's just a cut to Medicaid. No. You don't understand. This is not about cutting much needed, aid to millions of Americans who deserve it. No, this is a cost-saving measure. This is all about making sure that you have requirements in place, oversight in place for able-bodied adults without dependents requiring at least 80 hours per month of work, education, or community service to maintain coverage. And it doesn't start until December 31st, 2026. And you know what the bottom line is, y'all? I trust the man I voted for thrice, 3 times. I trust our president. I trust our commander-in-chief. And I know that when he says this is going to revolutionize America, the American worker, revolutionize tax rates across the board, revolutionize revenue, it truly is one big, beautiful bill. I trust him 1,000%. Am I the only one who feels that way? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, let's talk about the rift, okay? I want to talk about the rift. And by the way, you heard Trump. You heard what Trump said. There's a lot of great things I love about it. There's a lot of things that maybe, I don't love as much, but guess what? He's willing to work it out. This is the reason why I love that Elon Musk said, I'm a little disappointed in the amount of spending that's happening. It could undermine, the key word is could. It could undermine everything we've been doing at DOGE. You know why I love this? Because this is the exact opposite. Perk your ears up. This is why I love this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we voted for. Radical transparency, not mindless, feckless, ballsless, critical thinkingless, brainless following of one another without any questions, without any disagreements. When you've got big, giant leaders, when you've got big, giant ideas and visions colliding, there's going to be disagreements. And if Musk, Trump, and Secretary Bessent, Marco Rubio, this amazing cabinet, Hegseth, the like, if they all agreed with each other all the time, that, ladies and gentlemen, is a cult. That, ladies and gentlemen, is sheep mentality. That is following minion-esque type of mentality. I love this because it just proves again that we have an authentic administration. We have authentic cabinet members who are not afraid to tell the emperor he is in fact wearing no clothes. This is all they talk about over there. And you know what I'm talking about by the Hippocrats. This is all they talk about. See, there's dissension. See, they're disagreeing. See, there's trouble in paradise. Oh, the marriage is rocky. They've been trying to foment this division amongst this amazing cabinet since the very beginning. Right? The reason I love this is because it shows, in one word, simplicity. It shows authenticity. That's what it shows. We are not all going to just meet together and say, let's do a video, and everything in the video, we're going to use one phrase, constitutional crisis. Nobody on the radical anti-American Hippocrat left, the woke DEI garbage, absolute garbage left, has a brain of their own, a thought of their own, an idea of their own, a vision, a strategy, a policy, goose egg. They don't have anything. Yes, Dog Boy, there are some, again, this isn't finalized yet. Dog Boy, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, will still be taxed on Social Security, Nez. But you're going to save in every other way imaginable. You're going to save. We as a country, I truly believe, once the External Revenue Service, the tariffs, the tax bill, the big beautiful bill, once this all passes the Senate, and once this gets cooking in the next 12 to 18 months, I truly believe this, bookmark this, President Trump is going to create such a surplus in our budget. The plan was, with Secretary of Commerce Lutnick, the plan was to go back to prior to 1913 when the Internal Revenue Service, instead of taxing our citizens, let's create wealthy and prosperous citizens. I truly believe once everything takes place, once everything enters into the lifeblood of the system, we are going to see an abolishment of the worst invention in American history, the Internal Revenue Service. I truly believe that. You can bookmark this, record this, screenshot this. I truly believe that is next. Yes, thank you, Chief 21. Will the ERS replace the IRS? Yes. I don't know about you guys, but I think probably 15 to 25% of the stress and gray hairs, the other 75 and 80% are my kids. Hello. I think a lot of that stress comes from the IRS and taxes, every single year. And I'm not one of those guys who does tax payments quarterly or does it all throughout the year, even though I probably should. I always wait till the last second because I don't want to pay them a freaking dime, especially when my hard-earned money is going towards transgender plays in Peru or studying the effects of homosexual shrimp in Guatemala. All the things that they're putting our money towards. Holy macadamia nut. This is going to be the most revolutionary act a president has ever done in the history of our country. We're going to go back to before and prior 1913. I truly believe it in my heart. We're going to have such a surplus, such a treasure trove of wealth pouring into our country. We've already got massive investments. A lot of people criticized him for his Middle Eastern tour that he just did very recently. He accrued and secured massive trillions of dollars of investments into American manufacturing, incentivizing businesses, corporations to build here. You're going to start seeing Made in America tags all over. I don't know about you, but for me, that would be a dream come true. I would love nothing more than buying something, clothes, a appliance, a technology product, whatever, a product, good, or service with the tag Made in America. If you are with me, let me know in the comments. Give me an American flag emoji in the comments right now. So this little disappointment or disagreement or what have you. Look, is there everything that I love about this big, beautiful bill? Of course not. Of course not. I wouldn't have a critical thinking molecule in my brain if I said that. And it would be dishonest. It would be very dishonest of me to say, I love every aspect of this big, beautiful bill. But this is what legislation is like. Okay, you got to take the bad with the good. You have to. We've got economic growth and tax relief. We've got substantial tax cuts, potentially putting an extra 5,000. How many people in the comments right now? Let me know. Could you use an extra 5K in your pocket? Everybody type 5K in the comments right now if you are with me on that. This is especially for people who are earning between $30,000 and $80,000 with a 15% tax bill reduction. That is over 80% of the country. It eliminates taxes on tip, overtime. It's also projected to increase long-run GDP by 0.8% and create almost 1 million new jobs. This is like substantial economic growth, particularly for businesses and middle-income families. What about border security? It enhances border security by funding the removal of 1 million illegal. And this is just the beginning. It also allows us to build over 700 miles of border wall. It also includes child tax credits, modernizing. I mean, I don't know about you, but I was already afraid to step onto an airplane. I've had a fear of flying ever since I was a kid. If there's one area where this bill, just on this alone, the feeling of security that we actually have modern, efficient, working technology to help us keep safe when we're in these 2-ton tubes, whatever, in the middle of the sky, 35,000 feet up, it's going to modernize air traffic control, building new infrastructure, modernizing a 100-year-old system practically. Are there bad things? Yes, it could add $2.1 to $5 trillion in national debt over 10 years. Yes, it could. I'm not happy with that, but you got to take the bad with the good. It depends on your perspective. And here's the thing. I think to offset that deficit, that is where the tariffs come in. That is where the ERS, the External Revenue Service, that is where that comes in. He's going to introduce measures just like he does every single day, tirelessly. The guy never sleeps. He's working for America 24/8. I thought I was a hard worker. This guy's 79, almost 79 years old, and he's working harder than any politician you or I have seen since Theodore Roosevelt. 100% guarantee. And that, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, next to Abraham Lincoln, the founder of the Republican Party, is my favorite president of all time before the revolutionary Trump. I mean, you can't even say Trump is Republican or Democrat, right, left, center. He has revolutionized American politics. He has revolutionized geopolitical politics forever. That's why I also say that Stephen A. Smith is going to be the Democrat nominee in 2028. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. Bookmark this. I've said it many, many times. You ever notice how he's just nothing, all he's doing now? He's not talking about sports as much as he used to. I mean, he has his ESPN show, but he's on every single podcast. He's on Hannity. He's on NBC. He's on CNN. He's everywhere now. He's on Bill Maher. All he talks about now, it's like 70-30. Sports 30%, 70% politics. And it's going to increase year over year. Why? Because he's not a politician. He believes he's a Democrat. He believes in democratic ideals. He believes in the principles and concepts of old moderate Democrats. He sees the insanity of the radical woke left. He does have a semblance of intelligence, even though I'm not really a fan of him. He seems more like a grifter and a hustler to me. It'd be really cool if he actually supported Trump, which he has said some nice things about Trump. But what Trump has done to politics has paved the way for people like Stephen A. It's paved the way for people like that. If it's not Stephen A., it's going to be somebody like Stephen A., somebody who's really good at talking, really exemplary at communicative skills, and also has a pulse on the people. Because the Democrats right now do not have a pulse on the people whatsoever. Not even close. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much, David Guthrie, for the $10 super chat. Bring Musk back. Make America great. Thank you, JB. Hey, it's good to see you, Jim Barron. We got the best mods in the business. Thank you for gifting 5 Professor Nez memberships. Dog Boy, I make over $100,000 a year. I'm taxed on OT, overtime. Laura Tilford, thank you so much, Laura. Dog Boy gave a $2, the best profile picture in YouTube history. The DOJ gave us a meep sandwich, Nez, and you know it. In what regard? Can you be more specific? I don't think they've done right by the Epstein client list. By the way, I've got new videos coming out today. Make sure you subscribe and follow. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing to subscribe and follow. Make sure you do that. Sign up for our free newsletter in the pinned comment and in the show notes and description down below. Because I'm coming out with brand new videos all about the auto pen. What's happened with Fake Tapper and him absolutely going off on the Democrats. He went off in a blistering rant. I can't wait to share that with you, as well as so many other things that are very prudent where you can't get them anywhere else. So make sure you subscribe and follow. R Squared, great to see you. Member for 8 months. You are awesome, man. He says, so proud to be an American patriot, part of the greatest YouTube channel going. Let's go. Let's go. I love it. R Squared, it's so great to see you, man. I miss all of you guys so much. Thank you, R Squared. You are amazing. So, you know, getting back to this, getting back to Musk and getting back to Trump. So I want to share this clip that I think brings it all home. I'm going to share this clip of Trump, and you're just going to love it. This was what he said in this press conference this morning. To me, it's the complete, total, symbolic embodiment of what this video and stream is all about. We are not a cult. We don't just agree with each other blindly. We don't just follow each other blindly without using our sovereignty, critical thinking, and critical discernment. We don't just abuse our power and our position for the pure benefit of prolonging our abuse of that power and position. What do I mean by that? The only reason that there is, well, first of all, they don't have any balls, but the only reason that you have such unanimity amongst the Democrats when they're attacking Trump. I mean, first of all, they have insane consumption of hatred for one man, and that is President Trump. But the reason why you see such solidarity in their messaging and nobody breaks ranks is because they've never held a real job in their life. They're scared to death of that ever happening. And people like Schumer and Hakeem Nobody's Dream and Ghetto Crockett and AOC, they keep threatening that. They say, if you don't align with us, if you don't align with our messaging, if you don't align with our extreme Bolshevik communistic viewpoints, we're going to primary you. I guarantee you that's what happens behind the scenes, because there's always unanimity. Constitutional crisis, threat to democracy, fascist, Nazis, garbage, deplorables. There's always unanimity. Those cringeworthy videos they all did with the same exact script. There's zero balls in that party. What I love about Elon Musk saying I'm disappointed is it just proves that we are not a cult. It proves that everybody who's in Trump's circle is not just blindly nodding their heads and following and declining to say the emperor wears no clothes. To me, it proves that we have great minds, we have great thinkers, we have great visions, we have great spirits, and more importantly, we have honest, authentic people who are finally running the greatest country ever to come to fruition. And when that happens, there are bound to be disagreements. This just shows the world that MAGA, or whatever you want to call that, is not a cult. That MAGA is not this extreme faction club, exclusionary, what have you. It just shows and proves that we have great people, high quality performers, and they're not afraid to say, you know what? I disagree with you, Mr. President. And you know what? I hope that you can see that in me as well, because I was one of the first people. I'm not trying to, no pat me on the back. When that whole Signal chat was going on, I was the first person. I got a lot of pushback for this. I was the first person that said somebody needs to get fired. And I'm glad Mike Waltz was the one who was fired, because you know what? Guess what? That was a huge mistake, letting that piece of garbage, Atlantic Monthly hack reporter, fake news, preposterous example of a journalist, into that Signal chat. And I wanted Trump to prove to the world that we're not like the Biden administration. We're not just going to allow everything and not fire anybody. I am happy that he came to that conclusion after the investigation was closed, that he's got to go. I love that. And I was one of the first people who was on board with that. So here to me is a perfect example. I want to share this clip right here. Oh, Christy, you're the best. Thank you so much, Christy, for the 1999 super chat. Christy, you are awesome. You are top shelf as well. I can definitely return the compliment to you. Thank you, Christy. That's so sweet of you. Okay. You can now see Rumble comments up here too. Where's Ronnie? Ronnie, can you see your comments up here? This is awesome. I love this. So I just added this new feature to our live stream. So this is a chance for you to add something to the conversation. Now, we got the best mods in the business. You want to act a fool? You're going to be adios. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Hasta la pasta. Okay. Here is a perfect example of that realism. Here's a perfect example of that authenticity. Watch this clip where Trump is asked about Benjamin Netanyahu, where Trump is asked, did you warn Prime Minister Netanyahu against taking some sort of actions that could disrupt the talks here? I love this clip. It just shows the bold, audacious, down to the marrow of his bones, authenticity that Trump constantly, unceasingly exhibits for us time and time again. Watch this.
Did you warn Prime Minister Netanyahu against taking some sort of actions that could disrupt the talks there in a phone call last week?
Well, I'd like to be honest. Yes, I did. Next question, please.
Doesn't that on sanctions?
I did, yeah.
If Senate Republicans want to push
It's not a warning. I said I don't think it's appropriate.
What exactly did you tell him? Did
I
you
just said
caution
I
him?
don't think it's appropriate. We're having very good discussions with him, and I said I don't think it's appropriate right now. Because if we can settle it with a very strong document, very strong, with inspections and no trust. I don't trust anybody. I don't trust anybody. So no trust. I want it very strong where we can go in with inspectors. We can take whatever we want. We can blow up whatever we want, but nobody getting killed. We can blow up a lab, but nobody's going to be in the lab, as opposed to everybody being in the lab and blowing it up, right? Two ways of doing it. Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment, could change with a phone call. But right now, I think they want to make a deal. And if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
This is something that the left will never understand. This is what lifelong politicians will never understand. And that is the malleability of Trump, the realism of Trump. The honest to God, real world way that normal people, normal leaders, normal humans, normal visionaries, if you have an abundance of intelligence and vision, that comes also with an abundance of doubt, an abundance of hesitation and reluctance, because you want to make sure that you get it right. Any jerk could get up there and do it. It's the nervous ones. It's the people that have a little bit of, you know what, let's just take a step back. I want to hear all opinions. I want to hear all the pros and cons. I want to hear what the disagreements are. Why is this good? Why is this bad? That's a leadership. That is leadership. He says it could all change with a phone call. Exactly what he said about the bill, too, when he was asked about Elon Musk criticizing. He says, you know what? Anything can happen. Anything can change. He was harsh on Iran. Next thing you know, being the amazing soul, I've said it so many times, he has a heart of gold, absolute heart of gold. This ridiculous swamp vermin, brain dead, pseudo-intellectual elitist Sam Harris, who keeps every single day claiming, every single time he is given an opportunity, that Trump is this evil, selfish, self-absorbed BS. He just constantly, that's what he does. If you think Sam Harris is intelligent, you have been cruelly deceived. I promise you this. He is exactly what I saw every single day when I was working at the university. You've got ballsless, feckless, spineless, gutless, elitist academics who look down their nose at you, who carry such an air of superiority. But the beautiful thing is, the crazy thing is, I should say, they've never achieved one thing in their life. They've never built one thing in their life. They've never created one thing in their life. Goose egg, nothing. And they have the balls to criticize a visionary. I got to be honest. I love I got to be honest. I told him not to do it. I said stop. You got to love that. What president? 99.99% of all politicians would have answered that question like this. You ready for this? Let me try to remove every molecule of personality and realism that I have in my soul. We've had some talks with Benjamin Netanyahu, and we're looking at different options. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to have unilateral discussion. That's what every politician would have answered that question like. Looked at a teleprompter, given a script by God knows who. We still have no idea who was running the country for the last 4 abysmal years. What does Trump do? I got to be honest. I told him not to, right? I told him not to do it. I said, stop, wait a second. We're in the middle of talks. By the way, when I do an impression of Trump, it is out of pure, unadulterated love. I get some comments. So why are you mocking? I'm not mocking Jack. If you don't know who I am, if you don't know this channel, if you're new here, let me tell you something. You ask anybody who's been an OG, member of the greatest community of freedom-loving patriots on planet Earth, Nez Nation, who love America like no other, you will know that my impression is a beautiful homage to somebody I love with every fiber of my being because he is saving our country step by step. That's what I love about. That's why I titled this video, let me explain why I love that this bill has divided in just one aspect. I don't mean divided, but it's caused a little bit of disagreement between Musk and Trump. I love that. We are not sheep. We are not a cult. We are not brain dead, soulless, personalityless, mindless hypocrites. When we have something that we believe in, we're not afraid to share it. That's America. That's the spirit of 76. We've got the greatest holiday. Well, we actually just had the greatest holiday, which was honoring our fallen heroes. We got July 4th coming up, which is the spawning of the greatest country man has ever known. My second favorite holiday. Memorial Day is the most sacred holiday in American history because those are the true heroes. We would not be having all these opportunities, freedoms, liberties without our fallen heroes. And I hope everybody had a wonderful, God-blessed Memorial Day weekend. Let me know what you guys did this past weekend. I'd love to hear in the comments down below. So take the good with the bad. We've got the realest of the realest of the real as our commander-in-chief, somebody who's got a heart of gold, somebody who has a vision, who's surrounded himself with the greatest high quality, top shelf performers, the greatest cabinet since the founding of this country. I think I can honestly say that. And we're in good hands. You got to take the bad with the good. Do not worry about any of this BS. Every single corporate propaganda left news media outlet is going to say it's the worst bill ever. Tax increases, cutting Medicaid. It's all BS. He's going to offset everything with the External Revenue Service. You heard it from the Economic Council Advisory Board. You heard it from Steve Moran, or is it Scott Moran? I might have forgotten his name, where he said conclusively, he said that this is going to bring, Steve Moran, this is going to bring the greatest amount of revenue, trillions of dollars of revenue to our beautiful country. And I'm all for it. If you love the United States of America, tap that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and follow. Hey, congratulations, Shauna, being a member for 4 months. Best impersonator. Thank you very much, Shauna. I really appreciate that. But you know what I appreciate more, right? I appreciate Professor Nez, who's quite frankly probably the greatest YouTube political commentator there is. There's no other reason to watch it. Me and Melania, we stay up all night watching Professor Nez. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. Thank you, Shauna. Dog Boy, God bless President Trump. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all of you guys. I hope to see you guys here. Stay tuned. I've got new videos coming out today. Today. You don't want to miss them. And I love you guys so, so much. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless the United States.